All right, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about weapon-mounted lights, specifically on pistols. Um, I know for many people, you see this type of thing, immediately the first thing you think is, oh, this is what cops carry, this is law enforcement. But I'll tell you, having a weapon-mounted light can be very, very useful, especially if you're interested in home defense. Like anything else, there are pros and cons. For everything you get, you got to give something, all right? So let's first go over what the pros are to having a weapon-mounted light. First of all, you don't have to look for one of these anymore, and you don't have to learn special techniques with the gun and the light, pointing the gun, pointing the light. The light is already affixed to the weapon, okay? And so that's a very convenient thing. But there are some things that you give up. First of all, you add weight and bulk to the gun. Not a big deal if it's for home defense, of course, but as a carry piece, obviously, it's going to be a consideration. One of the main primary downsides of a weapon-mounted light is the fact that it is fixed on the weapon means that whatever you point the light at, you're also pointing a gun at, and that might not always be a threat, right? Especially if you're in a home environment situation. So that means you have to learn two things. Number one, you have to learn techniques for employing the light so that you're not necessarily pointing it at everything you're pointing your gun at everything you flash the light at. And number two, you have an extra set of controls to manage, which would be the light controls. Fairly intuitive. Most weapon lights have two modes, momentary and constant, and they're exactly as they say. So once again, momentary being the light is on temporarily, okay, and when you come off the switch, the light turns off, or constant, when you turn the light on and it's constantly on. And again, there are pros and cons to each one of those modes. This requires training, so highly recommended you get specialized training. Like with anything else you attach to a gun, just don't attach it because it looks cool or you have an idea of it. Attach it for a reason and get the proper training on it. Otherwise, it could actually be a liability to you. All right, so let's just quickly talk about features. There are two lights that I have here. One is the Surefire X300. The other one is the TLR by Streamlight. They're both excellent lights employed by military and law enforcement, and they have been for a while. They both have different, what we call switchology, ways of manipulating them to get into these two modes, the constant or the temporary. As you can see, there are other considerations like the shape of the light, the protrusion of the light, and the weight of the light on the gun. Okay, some people have preferences. I have both of these myself. I tend to prefer the switchology on the Streamlight. I'm right-handed. If I were left-handed, I definitely prefer the switchology on the Surefire because the Surefire is much more ambidextrous friendly. Okay, the other thing to consider is power of the light. All right, so I'm going to talk about two aspects of that: lumen and candela. Basically, lumen being the brightness of the light, okay, at its point of illumination, and candela, the penetration, the throw of the light. All right, these are things to consider. So directly related to that is size and weight. Why? Because the more lumen that you have, the brighter the light, the more battery power you need. Therefore, you're talking about single cell or two cell batteries. So example here. This is a very compact light, excellent light, but is a single cell, and it's only 350 lumen as opposed to the X400U, which is 1,000. Okay, that's a lot more power that you have. With anything you get, you got to give something, okay? And this is true with virtually every aspect. So what I would encourage you to do is get some training on the light. We do offer courses here at the Alamo in a private setting. You can set those up directly with the training academy and come in and look at our light selection.